Hi, I'm Jared from KTWU. Coming up, a segment from Sunflower Journeys. If you enjoy it, please consider visiting ktwu.org to make a contribution.
Russell, Kansas isn't a very big city, but every 10 years, its citizens celebrate their heritage in a big way. For our first story, we take you to a festival called Prairiesta.
I think Prairiesta means a lot to all of the people who come to Russell. It's a gathering of people that haven't been together for a long time.
I think it takes 10 years to get over them. That's a little joke there.
Well, I think probably if we did it any sooner, it'd take too much time just to prepare for it. And it's such a long celebration that every 10th year has been the policy that we have followed.
Well, it began in 1941, and it was to honor the pioneers of the hardships that they suffered coming here, trying to make this area a better place for future generations.
Let's let everybody promenade up and come back through so we get to see all the costumes this evening.
Friday evenings is dress-up day, and we have a promenade that starts up at the south end of town and comes right down Main Street, and then ends here at the stage. And there are programs then for entertainment here at the, as we call it, the Old Saloon. It's quite colorful. Everybody dresses up in their Prairiesta costumes, long dresses, cowboy outfits, beards. We'll have beard contests. We've got some pretty woolly people walking around here.
This must be about the longest
It does call the attention to it. It's a daily reminder of the fact that there is something going on. You leave town and you walk in, and the guy that knows you says, "What are you doing with all the hair on your face?" Well, we're having a Prairiesta celebration. Well, word gets around, and it's a pretty good little gimmick, and the price is right. You know, it doesn't cost anything. The whole idea from the first Prairiesta, which was a coining of having a fiesta on the prairie, obviously. So we wanted to do something to celebrate our beginnings. The jail has been an institution, if you'll pardon the pun, in Russell since the 41 Prairiesta. And the idea was on certain evenings to stir up a little activity, why they would arrest 2 or 3 to 6 or 7 prominent, either non-beard wearers or fellows with beards that were inadequate. It didn't make any difference, you were going to get arrested regardless. Mostly just to have fun. Periodically, of course, throughout all of these Prairiestas, the jail would get stolen, and there was much speculation as to where it would go, because you had to have a gin truck, which is an oil-filled truck with 2 pipes on the back with a cable that goes over with a hook. And you had to have a gin truck to get the jail out of town. So it always went down to who had a gin truck big enough to steal you eliminated an awful lot of people because there weren't that many gin trucks.
Uh-huh. There are $5.
Anybody?
She has them available. She'll be going around.
We'll go down here with the other crowd.
So the pageant was the centerpiece of the first Prairiesta. It all circled around that. Since then, we've added occasionally rodeos and car races and the usual entertainment factors that come with these kind of celebrations.
Hear my God to thee.
We have a large stage, and we act out beginning with the Ripon, Wisconsin group that first established Fossil Station here. And then from then on, we just have every part of the history of the community, from bringing the wheat over from oil production right on down to the present day. So it gave us a good way to remember the pioneers and also see the progress that this area has made. And that was really the purpose of it.
So our town will now be called Russell.
You meet your maid and promenade, hook right on and promenade till you get back home. When you get back home, all four ladies center and back to the bar and into the center.
Here come the beauties. They better look their best. The mayor is the judge of this contest. I'll bet his little wife doesn't appreciate this.
I've heard people say this year that they've learned an awful lot about Russell history that they did not know before. I love the pageant because it is historical and it tells all about Russell.
I packed that well.
The parades are still great. We've been a parade city all our life, and I tell you, I'm always amazed. You always see a lot of different and new things in the parade.
Walking the World War II commemorative flag down Main Street yesterday was spine-tingling for me. It's just great to see that great, big, beautiful flag. That flag was commissioned in 1991 by the Department of Defense for commemoration of all World War II ceremonies. And we are very fortunate to have that flag in Russell today for that purpose.
What brings me back to Russell? Russell brings me back to Russell. This is my hometown. I moved here when I was 12 years old from Wichita. The best educational experience I ever had was here at Russell High School. Have a lot of friends here, and when I heard this big party was coming up on Prairiesta for the 130th anniversary of Russell, I said, let's go. And my wife, Joan, and I are here.
I don't think there's any question that they really begin to understand what Russell's about. We'd like to think Russell's a little bit unique. Perhaps it isn't. Many other Kansas towns have a background of hard work, fair play, rewards at the end of the rainbow.
Glad you could stop by to see a clip from Sunflower Journeys. There are more great local stories out there waiting to be discovered, but it takes help from viewers like you and me to make it happen. Visit KTWU.org right now to make a pledge.